Okay.
Uh, hi everyone. Good evening, and thank you, Dr. Suwik, for inviting me for this industry in the classroom for KIMB. Last time was KIA, now KIMB.
Actually, the same thing.
Mm.
Just they change the code because last time share marine science. So last time is MMS.
Mm.
So nowadays need to be like in biomarine. So it's like MMB. And then we put a little bit lah marine bio at the behind. But the whole topics actually is just a KIA. Okay. And then marine
Okay.
science also like separate course. Okay. Okay.
Okay. So, hi everyone. My name is Choo En Liang. You can call me Liang, like Doctor. So I just graduate last year, and yeah, I'm working in ALS Technichem Malaysia after I finish my internship there. So now let's start with my presentation. With the slide I prepared lah.
Okay. If you have like a question, we can have Mr. Liang presented here.
Okay. So everyone can see my slide now, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So ALS is the ALS is actually stand for the Australia Laboratory Service. So my HQ is at Australia, and in Malaysia we call it ALS Technichem Malaysia Sdn Bhd. So we have 350 laboratories worldwide in 65 countries. And in Malaysia, we have 7 branches for this moment lah. So the HQ is in Shah Alam, which where I working now, and JB, Penang, Perak, Kemaman, Sabah, and Sarawak. So ALS have covered 4 major fields, which is environmental, industrial hygiene, food and pharmaceutical, and also tribology. So what am I working now is under environmental. So we actually do water quality analysis, air quality monitoring, noise and vibration monitoring. So the most relevant with the KIMB is a water quality analysis. Like we analyze the marine water, but in ALS we analyze all kind of waters, marine, river, or industrial, any kind of waters. Besides, in the industrial hygiene, we also do workplace monitoring and also organize occupational health medical surveillance program. So under the food and pharmaceutical, all the food before they market in the shopping center or somewhere else, they must undergo microbiological test, pathogen detection, specialist contaminant analysis, and also halal assurance testing with the medical device and pharmaceutical testing lah, and also the DNA testing to certify that the halal is how to say assured lah. And also last, for the tribology, we do oil analysis and engine coolant analysis, diesel fuel analysis, and last, the wear debris analysis. So for my job, I actually do sampling, equipment calibration, equipment maintenance, and health safety and environment, the HSE department lah. So I think the first three is very relevant to what we are studying now in KIMB. So for my working experience, in the industrial area, I have been working in the site of Petronas, the Pusat Quality Alam. For information, Pusat Quality Alam is the only one in Malaysia which process the schedule waste or to keep the schedule waste. Schedule waste is like the oil from the unwanted oil from the industrial, or the glove if we use in the hospital or somewhere else, and also the things that we can't compose ourselves. And also Philip Morris is the what cigarette company. And Texas Instrument Malaysia, and TNB Storage, and also their transmission line, and Canon, and etc. So for the environment, yeah, I've been working in TNB transmission line. The TNB transmission line is like what usually you all see by the roadside or in the mountain, that the tall things with a lot of cables. So when they do development inside the mountain, they might have pollute the water or the flora and fauna. So we have to go into the mountain to test the water quality to ensure that no pollution is happen. So all the development is going smooth without any pollution. And also the leachate treatment plant. Leachate treatment plant is the place like we keep all the rubbish, the landfill site. So when all the rubbish they keep in the landfill site, they will decompose. So when decompose, a lot of the waters coming out, the waters we calling it as leachate. So we have to test the leachate treatment plant, uh, the water from the leachate treatment plant. So the leachate they will treat first until it cleans, it meets the quality act. We have a lot of standard. So for the leachate, we follow the standard B. We have to test the water, follow with the standard B. If they comply with the standard B requirement, only the water will be released out to the river. And also water treatment plant, and recently, who is staying now in Selangor, they know the water is always a problem. Always no water. Always the water supply is uh don't have the water supply. So because of the pollution of the river, so we are also going to check the Selangor polluted area and other development area. So for the food industry, we have to ensure the water they are using is clean, and also it meets the drinking water requirement as stated in the Drinking Water Act lah. We call it standard A drinking water standard lah. So I've been going to Nestle, Coca-Cola, Cadbury, and also Apron Kitchen. Apron Kitchen is producing all the Old Town products, the Old Town coffee, anything from Old Town lah. And the and this year we all know we have coronavirus. So we are also going to the Inda water plant to collect the sample and test whether there are COVID DNA inside the sewage. So when we know, if we detect there are any COVID DNA in the sewage, then we know nearby the plant, all the waters nearby, all the waters that enter to the plant, we know we can detect which area, so we can confirm that that area must have some positive case. So this is what we doing for COVID-19 test from the sewage lah. So I will show you some of the photos when me and my colleague doing the sampling lah. So as you see in the photos now, this is groundwater sampling. So why we need to do groundwater sampling is because if there are any chemicals or oil that are leaking from the company, it first will go into the soil first. So after the soil, the waters will go into the underground water. So if we sampling the groundwater, then we can know if there is any leaking from the site or from the factory lah. If you can see the things we holding now, is called a baler. The baler, inside the baler we have a small balls. So when we put into the pothole, the water pressure will push the balls up, so the water will fill in, and after the water fill in, the balls will sink down and block the and block the what the lubang the hole that the waters escapes out. Then we can take out the sample and take back to the lab for further analysis. So this is the groundwater sampling. And next, we are going to see the river and marine sampling that we have done. So this is the marine sampling. The first photos we are doing at the sea nearby the Linus plant. So then all the points are given by the Linus people that nearby to the development, nearby to the site, then we have to collect their sample by using this Vendon sample. I am sure you all have studied before. This is the Vendon we are using. We put the Vendon down to the water, and then with the messenger like the Basi as a messenger, we push it down and it will close both sides of the Vendon and the water is captured lah. So the main purpose we are using the Vendon is because we need to take different depth of the water. So like we have to take the bottom water, so we will put the Vendon down to the bottom, and only we will release the messenger down to trap the water inside and for sampling lah. Because as you all know, in the marine water, every depth, the surface, the middle, and the bottom, the water characteristic is different because of the tides and some other factors. So we have to test every depth of the marine water to show the pattern and their result lah. And next, we are doing this river water sampling. The first photos of the river is in Sdn Bhd for the TNB project. They are building more transmission line like the tower we all see, the high tower with cables. They are building more and more towers in Sdn Bhd lah. So we have to go into the mountain to collect sample, because last years there are residents that complains that the water is not clean. So with the points the TNB decided with, which is nearby to their transmission line, the water that affected by the transmission line, they have to do sampling, and we go do sampling for the analysis because all the waters from the mountain the residents there are using. So we have to test the water to ensure the water is clean and is safe for use. And in the second picture, this is the place that the Selangor area in the Rawang, which often happens this pollution because this area is actually full of factory, and the factory, they need to save the cost. They just pour the diesel or something into the river. Just for your information, to decompose or to send the diesel or some other chemical to the pusat quality alarm I mentioned just now, 1 ton is around 2 to 3,000 ringgit, so it's a very high cost. So they need to save the cost, and they just release to the water. But the water is affecting all the Selangor residents. So now they are using the air Selangor, they are using the plankton to treat the water rather than the treatment plant, because treatment plant using a high cost, and also their chemicals is also high. By using plankton to treat their water, is a biological method, and also is more efficient lah. So they will uh, pump in nutrients for plankton, especially for diatom, to grow more in the water and to treat the water biologically. So I'm going there every week to take the water, to sample the waters, and take back to the lab for testing to show the efficiency of the diatom to treat the waters. So hopefully the waters can be clean all the time, and Selangor waters always have no problem after this. And also some others rivers water we have been doing, as a photos you can see, majorly with the TNB project. The first photo is in Sepang, Bukit Unggu area, and the second photos is at Hulu Langat. And also what I doing oftenly is in the industrial plant. So in the industrial, they have a lot of dirty waters that need to be treated, and their waters will be released out to the river. The waters that release out, we call it effluent. So as a photo you can see, we are sampling at the site. The first photos is in the aeration tank. Aeration tank is the place where we grow the bacteria, the microbe, to decompose the sewage or the other dirty waters to be clean. So, and the second photos is in the leachate treatment plant. After they treat their leachate, it will be stored in this tank, and after it is safe, only they will be released out. And I also doing the air sampling very often recently. In the air sampling, we have two types. One is active air sampling, and the others is passive air sampling. So in the active air sampling, as you can see, we are using the pump to suck in the air to the sample. We have the filters attached to the tube and attached to the equipment. Then we after we on the pumps, the air nearby will flow into the pump, and all any dust or chemicals that will trap into the specified filter we are using now lah. So this is the photos that I have been going. The first photos is in Cameron Highland, uh, that I did few days ago. And the second photos is actually a indoor water plant, but this indoor water plant is a small indoor water plant for a residence area. They this is a what close enclosed uh water plant. So the smell is not good. They have to enclose it and go through this air filter machine that will release the air with no smell lah. Then we are sampling here to show it is no smell and also no other harmful chemicals that release to the outside. So the residents staying there are safe.
Liang,
Okay. Ah,
wait for a while. I need to mute everyone because they are noise.
okay.
Can any siapa yang tu boleh tolong mute tak? Bising Please mute your speaker. Student, speaker and also mic. Ustazah Syafain, siapa dia tu? Okay. So Liang, can you continue?
Okay. So for the
Okay.
next one, we have this passive air sampling. Passive air sampling, we didn't use any equipment or pump. We just hang on the sampler at the side, let the air flow in by themselves, and all the chemicals or all any parameters that are wanted will be trapped inside the filters. So in the photos, mainly this project is we are working with Petronas. So in the first photos is at Gurun. Gurun, we have this Petronas chemical fertilizer plant.
Mm-hmm.
So we are installing this like a birdhouse. Inside this birdhouse, later I will show there are sampler inside. We are installing this, we call it birdhouse lah, all around the fence line of the site. So if the chemicals is detected in our sample, that means they are leaking or their plant are leaking something out from their site, it may be harmful to the residents nearby. So we are doing this to ensure the site have no leaking, no any other chemical from the site are going out from their site that it may affect the nearby residents. Okay, from these photos, you can see there are tubes. There are 3 tubes inside, all tubes with different parameters. So if there are any chemicals flow by to these tubes, then all the chemical will be trapped and it will be detected in our GCMS. So this is all the safety measures that Petronas are doing now to ensure no chemicals are going out to the residents. So in this course KIMB, I think we have learned how to design a studies. I remember from what I studied last time, there are lots of method. Not lot lah. 2 methods. What I forgot lah. Sorry. But for
Siapa ajar dulu?
what?
Siapa ajar?
Dr. Mel.
Dr. Mel.
And so what we are doing now, what my company and I, how we design a study, usually all the study or project are designed by the clients. They design the whole project and just assign us to the site and show us a coordinate where to sampling, what to do and anything. So we just follow the clients and we can also advise the parameters. This depends on the regulation and client regulation but after I work in LS for more than a year, from my experience, usually the clients are using the concepts below the top down and also bottoms up measures. So for the top down is on the triangle at the left side. For an example, in a industrial site, top downs, which means we will first test the centralized final. We'll first test the influent or the raw leachate, which means the fresh, dirty waters that's coming into the tank. So after, if we detect something from the tank, then we will see how far it will go. Like after that, we will test aeration or anostic tank, and lastly, the centralized final discharge. So if we know there are something happens in the raw leachate, we treat in the raw leachate directly, so we can assure that the aeration tank, the anostic tank, and the centralized final discharge will have no problem. So we will detect if we know exactly what is happening, then we can use the top-down methods. So the bottoms up is another side. We don't know what happened, but first we detect the centralized final discharge. There are something unusual. One of the parameters is high, like the BOD is high, but we don't know why, and we don't know where is the problem happens also. So we test from the aeration tank, anostic tank, and also some other tank before, and go stage by stage until we find where is the problem and we treat the problem there. Sometimes it's the tank problem, sometimes it's the leachate itself have problem. Like one of my experience, there are oil leaking from from the roadside into the tank. So the oil and grease content in the tank is very high. We can know this because of when we sampling at the final discharge for the standard B, we can see it from the water is very oily, because normally the water is clear and clean, but at times it's very oily and no one know why. So after we go stage by stage, we found out that the aeration tank, there are oil leaking from the roadside lah. Okay, for this case study, I you all can take part together to answer what measures we can take after reading this. So the question is, reported that last evening a working was splashed by diesel during maintenance of the machine. Then this guy he ran to the nearest emergency shower, which is nearby the effluent tank, to wash away the diesel on his body. So the other morning, we observed that there is oil floating on the water at the final discharge drainage. So which concept is more suitable to apply to design the study in this case? Anyone can answer?
Can
Hello. Okay.
faham tak? Tak faham. Stop please.
tak, tak,
Ah.
top down. So the answer is top down, correct?
Oh, hebat, 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 hebat. Oh, hebat, hebat,
But
hebat.
the others, the others, they understand or not? If don't understand, I can repeat one more time.
Tak apa, kita recording.
Okay, okay. And for this top down and bottoms up, I am using another examples, another experience that I am doing, which I mentioned just now, the fence line project. So first, at the top down, we know the plant is leaking something. So we start the air sampling in the plant first, then the fence line of the plant, and finally the residential on the of the plant. Because with this top down method, we we exactly know what happened, and we trade in the plant first, and then the second time we will do around the fence line of the plant to ensure no chemicals coming out anymore, and finally the residential area, the residents there are safe with the air nearby lah. So, and the other side, the bottom ups, we don't know what happened, but the residents are complaining, smelly or anything. So we start with the residential area first. We will plot the point around the residential area to determine which point is the highest, and we will see any plant or any other factory nearby to the plant. And then we will do the fence line of the plants, and finally inside the plant, so that no more chemicals that are leaking lah. And also a case study, like I mentioned just now, the residents nearby complain that they can smell gas or unfavored smell sometimes when they step out of their house. But in a kilometer away, there's a Petronas chemical fertilizer plant. So in this case, which concept is more suitable to design the study? Any answer from the floor?
Okay. Siapa boleh jawab tak ada pula? Okay.
No.
Bottom up ke? Top bottom. Anyone? Idina lagi? Itu siapa tu? Ramai pula bottom up.
Bottom up, yes, correct. Ramai-ramai sudah faham lah, bagus.
Iyalah tadi you dah bagi jawapan
bottom
free
up.
kan? Of course lah.
Nanti ada test, harap-harap doktor pun boleh bagi jawapan free lah, dia orang pun happy.
Tak boleh, bahaya tu.
Okay, we continue.
Okay.
So, in this, what we call KIMB, last time KIA when I'm studying, how I apply what I have studied to what I'm working now. So, in this KIMB course, I'm sure, starting of this course, you all learn all types of equipments like Vendon, Wing Grab, plankton net, bongo net, and all types lah. We have assignments last time to take videos how to use, but now online I'm not sure how lah. But you all learn before how to use this equipment, and I hope you all can remember how to use, so it is very useful in the future lah in this environmental field. Because almost all the other labs or in consultants, the others, some big company with their own sampling, they are using the same equipment actually. And in this CAMB course, we also can use some special sampling equipment that is not practiced by other course. Like what I said just now, the Wendon water sampler, wing grab, and plankton net. And also, we can use the YSI or HydroLab to log in situ reading. This YSI, I'm using YSI now lah. For your information, YSI is very expensive. That so not many other students can use lah. YSI is around 40,000 for one, and all parts are very expensive. Last time the YSI I'm using
Mahal
the
eh?
cable problem. On the cable only itself cost 13,000 to repair it or to replace it.
Mahal. Okay.
So you all have to appreciate you all have the chance to use this YSI after you join back to UMT. You can use all types of this equipment in sampling, especially in the fieldwork project in Pulau Bidong later. So at the end of this subject, you can also learn the theory and the technique to use GC, gas chromatography, mass spectrometer, and also GCMS. GCMS is a combination of both gas chromatography and mass spectrometer. And three lab are using this instrument for their analysis for volatile compounds. Right.
Mm.
And in these photos, we can see the first one is Vendon and the second is a Van Vin Grab. Yeah, you all will use later. And also, the instrument I'm showing now is the GCMSMS. I think in Malaysia there are only 3 GCMSMS instrument in Malaysia, and in ALS we have one of it lah. The other tools are I think I forgot where already. In other uni.
Mm-hmm. I think in university they have, but they are not for services lah. I think more
Mm.
on teaching.
In university normally we use GCMS only, but GCMS is very expensive and seldom we have it lah. So this is the GCMS and I have done some maintenance. I've learned to done some maintenance on this GCMS which is a very good experience. So as you can see in the first photos, this is the parts of iron source, which is the very important parts and need a lot of maintenance for the GCMS. So we have to clean the parts of the iron source with this alumina powder with 70% of methanol to clean all the parts to only the result, the graph, the peak showing out is accurate and sharp. So we have come to the end for the conclusion. This KMB subject will provide you a fundamental knowledge in environment. So you must master this subject very well lah for other subject also in the future, and also provide you a basic knowledge for you to enter any industry after you graduate. Uh, that's all from my slide today, and there are how many people? 86
86.
people.
I'm going
86.
to give from 107.
Mm. And I'm not sure all the students here they got this course because they want it or just UPU gave them this course.
Mm-hmm.
Like for me, I share myself experience. Marine bio in my UPU choice was at the 8th place, the very bottom's one.
So you
Uh, no. At first I still thinking want to join or not, and then I decided to just join first lah. If okay, then continue. If not, then just go somewhere else or what. But luckily, I stay and finish my marine bio course lah.
Mm.
So because like all the new student, I'm sure like the parents or the friends, they will ask, what can marine bio do, or how far you can go after you study this course? Because we are new also, we don't know what we will do. So I think better we all just stay and learn, then you will explore to more and more what you can do in the future. So
Mm.
it's not a what we say useless course. It's very useful because yeah, this is what the comment I got after I decided to join this course from people surrounded by me lah. And
Mm.
luckily I stay, I learn a lot of things. Then I can join this environmental company to work lah. There are a lot of environmental labs outside here. So it's a
Okay.
very useful course for you to enter any environmental related lab or related consultants companies. So just stay and master what you have learned and just do your best in this course.
Mm. Okay. Um, for everyone, to know that graduated. Okay, so it's very excellent and very active masa buat course marine bio tadi lah. Okay, so ada beberapa question from the student. Okay, from Camelia, from Jin so can or you can talk to Mr Liang. I think it's much better. Jin boleh soalan or you want me
What
to read it for you?
what is
Soalan
the
dia what
difference?
between ICP-MS and GCMS-MS, what is different?
Ayo, this is a very difficult question. I have forgot ICP because I'm not using it right now.
Okay,
And
it's okay, it's okay. So because diorang tak belajar lagi GC dengan AAS. Online
oh,
course is very difficult when you want to teach the KIA. Last time kita boleh tunjuk calculation dekat kelas saja kan. But this time I need to do a lot of effort lah. I like record video tengah-tengah malam buta. And then last time it was like PKPB. I bring all the test tube, pinjam dengan Cik Bazan, bawa balik rumah buat serial dilution and then calculation as well. Very difficult. Okay. And then ada soalan kedua, how long do you usually take for each sampling? And
it
then
dep-
which okay.
for this question it depends to how difficult that the site is can access. Like in the mountain, usually we take sometimes a point is is in the middle of the mountains, which very difficult access. You have to use four wheel to go in. Sometimes also cannot, depends on the weathers. So depends not don't have exact time for each samplings but for the
And
air samplings usually 8 hours or 24 hours, a lot of 24 hours jobs but in marine biology also we will have few 24 hours assignments I think. One is the for the fish eggs one, and
Ethnology,
yeah,
embryogenesis.
yeah, embryogenesis for to observe the fish eggs is a 24 hours assignment also, and the other one is to to see the pattern of the tides at some points in UMT lah. Last time I was doing in Jalan Biawak. I stay there 24 hours. No 24 hours. We take shift because we have a lot of students. We can take shift to get the site result, to see the tidal patterns. But in working here, we don't have enough people. So if you are assigned to do 24 hours job, then you have to do.
No excuse
Mm.
sama macam kelas lah kan.
Mm.
Which water sampling method usually you use, and then why we need to take the air sample? Tu maksud dia ni.
Okay, which water sampling method usually you use? We have two types of water sampling. One is the grab sampling, and the other is the intermediate sampling. The grab sampling, we just use a body or something to take the water and just go. For the intermediate, we call it IECS. I forgot the full name. IECS, we do 24-hour sampling also. Like each of the hours, we will take one sample to study a pattern also lah, like the tidal pattern you all will do later also. So every hours we are going to the site and take the sample. So we will stay in the site for 24 hours, like usually 3 days to take the sample every hourly. And why we need to take the air sample? Why we need to take the air sample? Because we are breathing, we breathe the air around us, and this air sample, if you see my picture just now, all the palm, all the sample are placed at the height of our human height, same level to our nose. So when we do the air sample there, we will ensure that the air there is safe. It will not harms any humans. So this is why we need to take air sample lah. So if we detect any chemicals that will harm to humans, then the site supervisor or the plant manager, they have to take some measures to fix what are leaking, to ensure no more leaking after this.
Okay, question from Fifi. Sorry if this is sensitive, but overall, do you enjoy what you are doing right now? Would you recommend us going into this field too? Macam mana tu? Enjoy ke?
Oh, enjoy lah. But every field, no matter what field you are going in lah, you have stress also lah. But overall, enjoy also lah, because I'm traveling everywhere. Like I'm setting the time for this industrial classroom with Dr. Suvik, I think last month or 2 months ago, because my schedule is always go here and go there, go everywhere in Malaysia. So only today we have the times for this project, for this industrial classroom section. So would I recommend you all going into this field? It actually depends of yourself also lah. Like if you more into research, or you are interested in some, after you study a lot of other subject in marine bio, we have a lot of subject, like we have chemist, we have physical, we have biology. So after you study all this, you find your own interest. So not to say recommend or not, but to see what is what you want and what you are interested in.
Is the pay worthy? Dipan, how are you? How's your COVID? Dipan? Boleh dengar ke?
Hi, Doctor. Good evening.
Good evening. How are you now?
I'm doing
I
good,
think
Doctor. Doing good.
Okay, good. So is the pay
Okay.
berbaloi ke? Berapa gaji sebulan ni? You tak belanja lagi I ni. Ya, Liang.
Is the pay worthy? Depends. So,
Hmm.
my salary depends on project lah. If I got more project on that month, then my pay is good. Like during PKP, not much project and with my basic only, then not much. Depends on your effort also to see how much project you got. If you got a lot of project, then your pay is high. Is it
Oh,
a male-dominated field? For if you say go outside for sampling, yes, it is a male-dominated. But in the lab, in my company, we have a lot of lab, and the lab, the females are actually more, like 75%
okay.
of the lab technician, the lab chemist, they are female.
Okay, so it's like masak lah. Orang lelaki pergi beli barang apa semua, bawa balik, orang masak bagi kan?
Hmm.
So ada lagi soalan lain tak? Okay, very good sharing from what they call it, Mr. Liang. So Mr. Liang last time I mentioned in the beginning that he did his final project more on biotech under my supervision lah. What is your what they call it pengalaman yang menakutkan masa buat final project hari tu? You still
Pengalaman
remember?
yang menakutkan. Remember,
What is it?
we are doing the fractions of the Vitex rotudifornia. Then the fractions that have fractionized out by the KAP doctor, Dr. Winnie. Then the sample I accidentally wash all already.
Okay lah.
Then
So,
everything have to do again. That is menakutkan lah.
okay. When masa dia buat projek dulu, dia extract daripada tumbuhan. Tumbuhan kita panggil sebagai pokok vitex. Sebagai anti-cancer. Anti-cancer dan juga anti-inflammation lah. And then when he want to wash the cell culture equipment, suddenly dia terbuang semua sampel. Tapi saya mengamuk tak masa tu? Tak mengamuk kan?
Tak.
Okay. Can we have a tour to your lab? Pernah tidur kat lab tak setakat ni? Buat apa tidur kat lab?
Can we have a tour to your lab? Actually can. If anyone apply to visit our lab, we last time before COVID, we often have DOE, Department of Environment. They have a tour to our lab, and also our dean, Dr. Marina. She
Okay.
also often come to our lab also.
Dengan yang mikroplastik tu ya?
Yeah, microplastic.
Dr. Ayub, doktor apa tu? Okay, ALS patut pun. Okay. Okay, good.
And then pernah tidur kat lab tak setakat ini? Mesti pernah dekat lab UMT lah. Dekat lab ALS tak ada lah. Dekat lab UMT mesti pernah tidur dekat lab yang buat itu embryogenesis, to see how the fish eggs, from a fish eggs to a fish, how is the development. So ini kena tidur dekat lab lah. But
Itu
you tidur
khusus
in the lab
teknologi.
but that time you will tidur at the lab with all your friends. So it is fun also lah when you look back after you graduate. Not much this experience after you graduate lah.
Okay, if a new worker start working at your company, how will she is confirmed for worker?
Like for me, I'm going for industrial training first for 3 months, and then they call me back to work as probation for half a year. after half a year they will give me a offer letter as a permanent worker lah. But now because of the COVID, most of the industry is affected lah. Mostly now they join us as contract lah.
Okay, so I rasa sama kat mana-mana sama lah. Mula-mula tu percubaan dulu. Okay, usually 1 year to depend on the company. If government usually 3 years. Okay, kalau company swasta usually they give you like 6 months, 1 year to look at your performance. Okay, and now you are permanent or still contract, Liang?
Yeah, I'm permanent. I'm the last one who joined as permanent lah. Huh?
Oh, that is after that is a contract kan? Hear me? Okay.
Hello.
So if you still there? Okay, dengar tak? Dengar ke?
Boleh.
Okay. So
dengar.
Untuk
Doktor, mula tersekat doktor.
Not clear already, doctor.
Line mula slow dah.
kejap. Saya punya okay. Okay, can anyone hear?
Yes.
Okay, dia
Okay,
tadi
dengar
tukar.
doktor, dengar.
Dia H tukar kepada 4G pula tu. Okay, GG kan. Okay, so Mr. Liang still there the ALS company because he is a permanent staff. Kecuali dia buat hal dekat sana lah, so dia kena buang kan. So lepas 3 tahun nanti, so any student, marine biology student, kalau you nak apply for the internship, I think we can contact Mr. Liang lah, I think so. Saya ada ramailah student under my supervision yang memang kerja di pelbagai company. Last time itu apa Zarul saya propose you dekat Zarul Mr. Zarul dekat vaksin company kan.
Ya.
Ya yang tu. Siapa buat tak ada orang buat kan? Junwei. Junwei buat, another gang. Another buat. Okay. So it's a good thing when I invite your senior because you can see apa kaitan dengan course you marine biology. Sometimes macam dia yang cakap tadilah, tak tahu nak relate macam mana because you ambil your course tu kan marine bio and then you tak tahu nak kerja apa. So by this sharing, I hope it can open your what they call it perspective new perspective and then Mr. he learn also doing like biotechnology punya experiment and then now is environmental. So marine biology dia luas. Okay, so do your company offer part time?
I don't think so.
Sekarang tak buat lah sebab benda macam ni Mr. Liang buat ni dia very rigid lah, I think very serious business sebab tu company besar yang upah dia orang untuk buat environmental survey ni macam Petronas, okay, amonia. Macam contoh amonia tu biasanya detect guna apa? GCMS lah.
GCMS.
Kalau DO, oksigen, selain daripada guna DO meter tu, hydrolab ke, ada guna macam cara lama macam Winkler methods ke, ada tak guna? Tak ada lah kan?
Sekarang tak ada. Semua guna the DO meter or YSI saja.
Okay. So because sekarang ni
BOD sekarang guna robot dekat lab ALS.
Oh, robot. Okay. So because sekarang ni because student sekarang dia orang kena buat assignment how to conduct a sampling. So I bagi topics lah. Macam nak detect nutrient macam mana, nak detect heavy metal macam mana. So you boleh suggest saja apa-apa method dekat situ sebab because they have like standard method. Cuma adakah data yang akan dihasilkan tu sesuai? Okay, untuk diguna pakai nak rumuskan you punya finding tu. So that is most important lah when you do sampling. Okay.
Yes.
Ada tak? Okay. Saya rasa tak ada lah kot. Okay, just want to share a little bit. So regarding to the final project yang Liang buat dulu. Okay, I share a little bit lah. So we already write a paper, journal. Okay. Fortunately, that the journal been accepted, the manuscript been accepted. Okay, sekejap saya share. Okay, ada keluar tak? Line slow sikit. Then okay, hello, dengar? Liang, dengar?
Dengar.
So this the final project daripada Mr Liang dulu dengan okay, ni ada nama Liang dekat sini ni. So kita akan paper ni dah di-accepted dan akan publish dalam dekat. Okay. So very big operation di mana untuk simpan sebab dia dah tak buat pharmacologically kan environment. Thank you so much yang last time. Okay, tolong saya banyak. Okay, masa buat final project and banyak
Thank
juga
you.
catatan I continue. Okay, so on bagi daripada kita baru ke Kelantan that time. So and then we end up with on the business. Okay, so I think mungkin boleh ini message June.
Not clear now, doctor.
Okay, not clear. Wait Okay, any last message?
Hello?
Dengar tak? Hello?
Okay.
Dengar?
Dengar.
Message.
Any last message? Just do all the best you can in this course. Like what because like last time, my coursemate they all have said like, Liang, you pandai sangat, boleh ajar macam mana? Lepas tu saya cakap, bukan saya pandai, semua orang sama pandai saja. Just see how much effort you are putting in. So if the more effort you are putting in, then the better result you can get and the better job you can get. Last time all are related to how much effort you are giving in. The much effort you put, then the better result you can get. So just do all your best, do what you can and enjoy your student life. It's very interesting life in Marine Bio course.
Okay. So I think is anyone ready photo shoot? Boleh buka buka
Ready,
video
doctor.
ke? I think kalau lain okay. Buka lah video Mr Choo Liang pun boleh buka video lah. Thank you so much Liang for your sharing. I'm very honoured lah you boleh share hari ni. Because I cuba cari kalau boleh industri yang memang daripada alumni kita lah supaya you boleh share what we call it experience. And tu kat mana? Okay, Liang. I already answer your question. You text I tanya pasal macam mana nak buat sampling dalam assignment. So buat je dulu. Okay, so just list all the details, methodology. Nanti I share dalam group. Tak sempat nak reply one by one. Snapshot lah. Okay, kejap Okay. Cheers, peace. Betul-betul dulu Anina. Okay. Pins. Okay. Boleh? Kejap. Okay, line kejap keluar kejap masuk. Okay, 1, 2, 3, smile. So I got attendance. Thank you so much, Liang, for your sharing. So I hope we can invite you again for other session. Probably sesi untuk alumni ke apa semua. Okay. So thank you so much. Honor to have you.
Thank you for inviting me also.
And that yeah.
Alright, Doctor. Thank you for everything. And Merry Christmas.
Yeah, thank you. Merry
Thank you,
Christmas.
Doctor. And thank you, Mr.
Okay.
Liang.
Okay.
See you next week.
Okay, see you next week. Nanti I masukkan kuliah. Tak sempat nak rekod lagi ni. Aduh, penat.
Tak apa, take your time. Kami pun memang tak sempat asalnya.
Tak boleh. Nanti lah, saya fokus kuliah untuk test. Dia dah.